And now, race fans, it's time for the most famous words in motorsports. And here is our Grand Marshal, Chairman of Carfax, Stephen Polk.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
43 cars roar to life on pit road. 6 former Michigan winners in the field. Mark Martin, 2 victories here. Earnhardt, Burton, Waltrip, Harvick, and Kyle Busch all won. The cars have fired, sitting on pit road, getting ready to roll off for the pace laps before the Carfax 250 with Mark Martin and Jeff Burton on the front row. Kevin Harvick, leader in the championship standings, looking for his 2nd series championship. 22 career wins, 5 of them coming this year. He has been the man in the NASCAR Busch Series, and this afternoon chases the win here at the Michigan International Speedway on his way to what could be the 2006 Series Championship. Kevin Harvick and company now rolling off of pit road. And there you see Harvick in the Coast Guard Chevrolet. And here is the starting grid for this afternoon's NASCAR Busch Series race. Mark Martin and Jeff Burton are on the front row. Carl Edwards in row 2 with Matt Kenseth. Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch in row 3. Again, 23 drivers in today's race, also racing here tomorrow.
Yeah, it looks like a cup race. Casey Mears, Bernie Lamar. There's Kevin Harvick. Everybody wish he'd take a break. Kyle Busch. These guys are looking for all good days. I know Kyle Busch thinks he's got a pretty fast car today.
Drop back to row 7. You'll see Greg Biffles in row 7 along with Tony Stewart. And look at row 8. A couple of guys trying to get some experience here. Cale Gale and Steve Wallace. And behind them, Regan Smith and the veteran Bobby Labonte.
Row 10, Jason Leffler. There's Dale Jr. in the 8 car. Robbie Gordon driving for Dale Earnhardt Jr. today. Mike Skinner, Kenny Wallace, and Augie Pitovich in row 12.
Row 13, Ashton Lewis Jr. and John Wood. Stacy Compton and Danny O'Quinn in row 14. Paul Menard and Jeff Green make up row 15 this afternoon.
Back in row 16, we've got Scott Riggs and John Andretti. Row 17, David Green and Reed Sorensen. Todd Cleaver and Stephen Light in row 18.
Curtis Davis and Michael Waltrip back in row 19. Clint Boyer and Jay Sauter in row 20. Johnny Sauter, J.J. Yaley back there in row 21. And Scott Wimmer starts shotgun on the field. Dexter Bean, Jerry Robertson failed to qualify. The 0, the 10, the 27, and the 35 all go to the back for an engine change. The 11 and the 18 adjustments after impound. Wally's gonna jump on the radio for us real quick here.
Let's see if we can get a hold of Biffle out there. Hey, Greg, this is Wally in the booth. Can you hear me? Try one more time. Greg Biffle, this is Wally in the booth. Can you hear me?
Some people talking there, but I got somebody.
Hey, Greg, this is Wally in the booth. Can you hear me okay?
I got you, Wally.
Man, I wish you would have known that Marty was going up with you in a helicopter. He hates heights. I cannot believe you got him in a helicopter.
I know. I should have. I wish I'd have known that. I'd leaned it up on the side a little bit or something.
So we got to talk next time. What's the track look like out there? We got some weepers still in turn 2?
A little bit. You know, since it's a small area, even if you go over it, you feel the car slip just a tiny bit, but doesn't really affect anything. Not enough to really upset the car. And then, you know, you can always stay below it or above it.
Well, do you think you got a car that can win this? I know you've won a cup race here, a truck race. If you can win this Busch race, you'll be the only guy that's won in all 3 divisions at this racetrack.
Tell you what, I've had some awesome Busch cars here, and I think the American West Fusion's going to be good today. Eddie and the guys have done a great job for me getting it ready, so it's just up to me now. But I got some tough customers up front, you know, Mark Martin, Matt Kenseth, Carl. There's a lot of fast race cars up there I got to beat today.
Well, good luck and have a lot of fun out there, Greg.
Definitely have fun. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, Wally. Final stories from pit road. Let's start with Matt.
And Bill, starting deep in the field today is Reed Sorensen, chasing his third career NASCAR Busch Series win. Now, qualifying wasn't exactly what he'd hoped. He starts 34th today, but the team really is on a roll. Consistency-wise, if you look from February to mid-July, 1 top 5 finish. But the last 4 races, he has finished 4th or better 3 separate times. Now, last week wasn't a great weekend at Watkins Glen. They're trying to rebound from that, and they feel like, especially this kind of racetrack, which is more to Reed's sort of liking as far as his type of characteristics, they're hoping to get back on track here today and maybe pick up another win.
And Matt, you never know when you might get back on track. Michael Waltrip's a former winner here. He hasn't won in the Busch Series in 58 starts, but the last time he won, he was running 4th on the final lap at Nashville. Guys wrecked in front of him. He ended up winning the race. So, starting 38th today, Michael's not out of it. The race isn't over yet. We'll see. Marty?
Well, Dave, if anybody in this field has the experience to win today, it is definitely Bobby Labonte with 3 Nextel Cup Series wins at this racetrack. Now, originally when the schedule came out for Bobby this year, this was supposed to be the last race. He actually requested one more race in this 66 car. They hope to put him in the car at Kansas later on this year. Bobby told me a few moments ago, you know, we have a top 10 car today, but if I can do my job and we can have a little strategy, maybe we can turn a top 10 car into a winning car. Alan?
Well, Marty, my assignment for this little blurb is to give you the big picture on today's race. So here it is. We've got a star-studded field. You got Martin and Burton and Edwards, and that's just the top 3. You've got a big, wide racetrack where we see a lot of side-by-side racing. It's a place where fuel strategy adds some drama to the mix. Oh, and by the way, there's another band of rain on the radar that could cut this thing short of its scheduled distance and really put the pressure on the crew chiefs to make the right strategy call later in the day. So the big picture, it's going to be fun. Bill?
Sure will. Enjoy it down there. Cars working down the backstretch here at Michigan. Here's our race analysis for today. 125 laps on this 2-mile track. Pit road speed 55 miles per hour. And that pit window 48 to 52 laps. And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out here this afternoon. Again, rain has been a big part of the picture today. Rained heavily overnight. Shortened the first Nextel Cup Series practice earlier today. They did get in a lengthy second practice, and they got in Busch qualifying. The cars were impounded after they qualified here earlier today. 14 different winners in the NASCAR Busch Series this season. As we get ready for this afternoon's Carfax 250 here at Michigan. On board with Jeff Burton, starting outside the front row, next to pole sitter Mark Martin. His first pole in 52 races here at Michigan. Pace car to pit road. Jeff Burton in control of the field, along with pole sitter Mark Martin. Coming down to get the green flag. The fans have filed in. We're ready to go NASCAR Busch Series racing this afternoon here on TNT. Mark Martin leads lap 1. Kurt Busch is on the move, and it doesn't take long for it to get wide.
It really doesn't. And I think Jeff Burton spun the tires on the start. I was watching that front row. His car got real loose, so I think he spun him on the start. And I'll tell you what, this Kurt Busch is flying right now. Got 39 car challenging Mark Martin for the lead.
Mark on the inside, and here comes Jeff Burton in the 29 car. Like Kenseth right behind Burton. Kurt Busch to the lead. And Burton trying to take second from Martin and Will.
That's where that drafting comes into play a little bit. Mark was down on the bottom, and these guys were all lined up on the high line and helped Burton get by Mark Martin.
Kenseth down low. And the 20 of Denny Hamlin. Burton wants the lead down the backstretch. That's Stephen Wallace. Started in row 8. Report that he may have brushed the wall.
Right front tire starter vibrating the first lap going into turn 1.
problem, man, no problem. Bring her down pit road, we'll work on it.
That was Rusty Wallace talking to his son, Steven.
Kenseth is going to take the second spot away from Jeff Burton.
Marty?
Stephen Wallace came on the radio, Bill, after he made contact with the wall and said the right front tire started vibrating on the very first lap. So they're going to bring him down pit road. They think it may be a flat right front. At least that's what Stephen is reporting. And they're going to bring him down pit road on this lap.
And you can see the right side damage on that 64 car. Hamlin loose.
Wow, is he loose? Saved it. Might lose a spot, but
And Kenseth tries to get the lead. It's Tony
3 wide.
Yep,
Wow.
almost 4 wide. Bernie Lamar in the 77, Kyle Busch in the 5, Stewart in the 33 back there, and Casey Mears. That's why these Michigan races are so much fun to watch, because there's racing all over the track.
there's just so much racetrack you can use. And see, these guys are side by side, and there's enough air in between those two cars where Tony won't get loose running on the bottom. There's even room for another car in there to run side by side. So it's just a fun place. You have confidence you're going to go down the corner side by side and not wreck each other.
And that's exactly what they did. And they didn't. Now this is on board with Stephen Wallace a few moments ago.
38 only. Another one lining up with him here. Clear, clear.
I couldn't really tell what happened there. I mean, he was pretty high. Didn't get into the wall real hard, but this guy's racing pretty hard right here. There's Burton, Harvick,
Carl Edwards in the 60, Hamlin in the 20, and Matt Kenseth trying to break away up front.
He's trying, but he's got Kurt Busch right there on his rear bumper.
Harvick in the 21, and Edwards made his Nextel Cup debut at this track. Carl did. Runs very well at Michigan. Martin looking to close in on second place Kurt Busch as we watch this battle.
Wow.
And that's what you'll see here at Michigan.
Yep, used to draft down on the bottom. Looks like Burton is really tight right now. He's using a lot of racetrack.
Denny Hamlin on the move, Alan.
Yeah, Bill came on the radio just a second ago and said, you know, this feels like dirt track racing at its best. Sliding around a little bit out there in the opening laps.
And he's not the only one. Kurt Busch and Matt Kenseth. This is for the lead. And again, as Alan pointed out, rain is in the forecast for later this afternoon.
Oh, wow. Kurt Busch sideways, drives it up the racetrack. You can see his hands working through the windshield.
So Kurt back to the lead. More on Kurt from Dave.
And he just reported to his crew right before that, real loose, looser than he likes it. And obviously, Wally, the car is handling that way.
Yeah, you can see him every lap coming through the corners. He's sideways, and it's even worse when he's got the 17 car to Matt Kenseth right behind him. He's not helping matters by taking some of that air off the spoiler. So I know Kurt Busch would like to put some distance in between him and the guys behind him right now.
3 different leaders in the first 9 laps here at the Michigan International Speedway. Kurt Busch leads Matt Kenseth and Mark Martin in the Carfax 250. Sony, the official high-definition television of NASCAR on TNT, takes your NASCAR experience to another level with Sony Full HD 1080, the world's most powerful HD experience. We're under caution because of something Greg Biffle experienced. Into the wall with a little help from behind.
Yeah, Casey Mears had a good run on him, and he just basically misjudged this move. I think he went down to go to the left and pass him, and he just tagged him and turned Greg right into the wall.
So Biffle has taken his car back to the garage. On board with Jeff Burton looking back at it.
Also looked like Greg may have been coming back up in front of the 42, and the 42 probably thought he had a little bit of room to maybe pass him on the outside.
Pit road is open, and a number of cars have come down. We'll outline their strategy when we come back. Still working caution here at Michigan. Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR, has teamed up with Orange County Choppers to benefit the Victory Junction Gang Camp. If you'd like a chance to win the Sunoco Orange County Chopper Benefit Bike, log on to victoryjunction.org and look for the Victory Junction Gang Camp sweepstakes, or you can pick up entry materials at any of Sunoco's participating retail locations. That's a lot of stuff. Casey Mears.
Yeah, they got I think they lost a wheel. They got a wheel that got away from them.
Still got some damage.
Yeah, there he goes. Ah!
Gonna want that back. Top 7 drivers did not pit. Mears gave up 8th place to come in, and a number of other guys did as well.
And I think Mears had to go to the back because of that, losing that wheel.
Also did the extra work. And for these guys that pitted, it probably puts them in a fuel window that will get them to the halfway mark. We'll see how that plays out. Mark Martin looking under Matt Kenseth for second as they chase Kurt Busch.
And I know Kurt Busch would like to get as much distance as he can between him and everybody else, because his car is loose right now, and it just makes it worse for him if there's other cars running around him. He's got a pretty good restart. He's got about 6 or 7 car lengths in between him and Kenseth right now.
Casey Mears restarted outside of the top 40. Alan, what are you working on?
Kevin Harvick, who slipped back just a little bit here on the restart, Bill, he says his car kind of fighting both ends of it. He's got not enough rear grip getting into the corner and not enough front grip getting off. So he's kind of got it bad both ways, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to be loose in at Michigan. You're carrying so much speed into these corners, and you're actually turning the steering wheel as you're turning the steering wheel when you go into the corner, but you're also still on the throttle. So if you're loose in, it's pretty scary.
The guys that did pit came out around 18th or 19th. We'll watch the race and check back in the garage area.
Bill, Greg Biffle looking over what's left of his number 16 Ford Fusion. Now, Greg, early in the race, should the 42 have eased out of the throttle to let you in, or maybe should you have held your position more?
Well, I don't know. I have to go back and look at the replay and see exactly where it was at. When I looked in the mirror the last time I saw the 42, it didn't appear that he had room to try and make the pass on the outside. It's weird. The 29 waved me by on the inside, and I got beside him, and then he kind of drove back up beside me coming off of the floor there. So I lost my momentum a little bit, but definitely I don't think there was any give and take, you know, out there in lap 7. But we'll see if we can't get it back together and get back out there and make a few more laps.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Matt. Steve Wallace was the lucky dog. He runs in the 42nd position, 1 lap down. Casey Mears has worked his way back up to 33rd. There's Harvick, Stewart in the 33. That's Robbie Gordon behind them in the 88 car.
Looks like Kenseth caught up with Kurt Busch. He's going to try to take the lead away. I just think Kurt Busch's car right now is just a little bit too loose still. I think he's hoping it's going to go tight, but it hasn't yet.
So Matt Kenseth back into the lead. And Mark Martin's just hanging around there in that 3rd spot with Carl Edwards right behind him. And those guys racing around Kurt know how loose his car is just from watching it.
Yeah, and if you're racing him, actually what you want to do is you want to make his car looser. That's how you can pass him. So
try and make him as busy as possible. Matt Kenseth around Kurt Busch for the lead at Michigan. Working our 2nd caution period of the race, Wally.
Yeah, let's watch that car right there. Michael Waltrip gets a little bit loose in 4. Doesn't tag anything, but he's got some flat tires he's got to fix.
Pit stops, Matt.
Mark Martin slides to a stop, Bill, but hits his marks perfectly. small track bar adjustment. His car started on the free side, went to the tight side. Dave, they're trying to free him up again.
Matt Kenseth's car is too free. They make a chassis adjustment and an air pressure adjustment. They will change 4 tires at the top of your screen. Send Matt back out. He gave up the lead to make these changes. Marty.
Carl Edwards running third on the bottom of your screen, Dave, says when he hits the gas, he has no rear grip. Quarter round of wedge in the left rear, 4 tires for Carl. They're not going to win the race off pit road. Clint Boyer with a little strategy does that.
And this really is going to shuffle the running order. The sneaky battle off of pit road. Michael Waltrip bringing out the caution. Will reset the field when we come back to Michigan. Well, things have gotten a little wacky here at Michigan. Take a look at the freecreditreport.com pit summary. You see Matt Kenseth out 11th, Kurt Busch out 10th, Carl Edwards out 9th. The pace car goes to pit road. They put the green flag in the air. The top 7 cars did not pit under this yellow. 21-year-old Cale Gale is the race leader. The guys that stayed out pitted on lap 12. Fuel only for Clint Boyer. After taking tires on the earlier pit stop, they get racy behind the leaders, and Sorensen wants the lead.
See that yellow car shooting up the middle of the pack. Kurt Busch, he had a heck of a run going.
Reed Sorensen around Cale Gale, who was born on March 5th, 1985, 21 years old.
Yeah, that 39 car is flying. He's going to probably be leading this thing in about another lap.
Busch on the inside. Mears to second. Now Mears thinking about the lead, and that's the draft helping out there.
Takes a look on the bottom.
South.
59.
Stacy Compton has hit the wall. Caution number 3.
Are we wrecked bad or not? Right rear, gonna need a little work.
And the front might need a little work.
I'd kind of say bad on that one.
Set of tires.
And a really big hammer. Let's go back and see if we can find out what happened. Watch the right side of your screen.
Man, that was weird.
Whoa. He was all by himself.
He was all by himself, and it didn't even look like he was really up to full speed.
So Stacy Compton heads for the garage. A lot of work on that car under our 3rd caution of the afternoon. The Carfax 250 from Michigan on TNT is brought to you by Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar. Eating good in the neighborhood, Applebee's. By Wrangler, makers of Wrangler's Jeans Company. New fits, new comfort, new styles. And by Harley Davidson. It's time to ride. Good crowd here at Michigan on a Saturday afternoon, and it's almost time to go back to green. Reed Sorensen and Casey Mears were warned by NASCAR to slow down when the caution comes out. Michael Waltrip had to restart previously at the tail end of the longest line for pitting too soon. No lucky dog on this caution. Stephen Wallace has gotten it twice. He is back on the lead lap in the 36th position. Sorensen, Mears, Cale Gale, Kurt Busch, and Jeff Green, and watch the 39 car.
Kurt Busch, I thought, was going to lead this race before the lap was complete, but Cale Gale did not get a very good restart, and Busch had to wait because he couldn't pass him on the right.
But here he comes.
But he's coming pretty fast.
Sorensen, Mears, then Busch. Headed for turn 3. Casey looking to the inside.
A little bit loose down there. You see the car bobble a little bit. 39's not bobbling right now.
So now can Kirk get him before they get around next time?
I think he will. Takes it to the bottom. Well, Mears takes a look at the top side. Well, I thought he was going to pull that pass off. Kurt Busch didn't get underneath Casey Mears.
Sorensen drops down low.
Casey Mears takes the top spot. Kurt Busch is going to take second from Sorensen.
Last time we saw Casey Mears on the oval, winner at Chicagoland, leads that lap, but a fast car right on his bumper. Kurt Busch looking down low. Now down the backstretch. Falls in behind Mears.
I think Mears' car is a little bit loose too. The car bobbled a little bit in 1 and 2.
Kurt's car looks better.
Yeah, Kurt looks a little better, and he's using just about every line on the racetrack so far that you can. I mean, he's been all over the place searching. I thought he'd get that 42 car a little bit quicker. So Casey Mears is running pretty good right now.
There's Matt Kenseth, Jeff Burton, Jeff Green. Now back up front.
Just can't pull that pass off. He can get down on the low side, but he needs all the racetrack coming off the corner. He just doesn't have enough right now to get him on the bottom, so he's going to take a look at the top. Now, if he can get a good run here, he might be able to make the pass down the straightaway.
Pulls up behind him. And content to stay there for now. Oh.
Goes down the bumps to see, but he just can't seem to clear him right there. That's where the 42 car will pull back in front.
Dave, he's working awful hard out there.
Bill, we saw how the 39 car was loose earlier today when they did stop on the second caution period, and they've only stopped one time. They lowered the track bar on that car. That changes the rear end of the car, helps it not be quite so apt to spin out when he puts wheel to it. Now Kurt's got the lead from Mears.
And the question is now, how good is the 39 car going to be running out front?
In front of him. The 42 will get right back behind him now. That time, too, Kurt looked like he was a little bit loose coming off turn 4.
And now he goes high down there.
Yeah, I think what he probably should do is look in the mirror, and wherever the 42 goes, he needs to go the opposite place just to keep the 42 off his rear bumper. They've got a pretty good lead now on 3rd and 4th, 5th place. Reed Sorensen is about a second and a half back of the leader. Mark Martin taking a look under Cale Gale. That would be for the 4th spot. And there's Carl Edwards with him.
And a good run for Cale Gale in that one car early in the race. Just 33 laps in, but running right there with Mark Martin and Carl Edwards. See the big rookie stripe on the bumper of the one car? Martin, then Gale and Edwards looking to the inside. Up front, Kurt Busch continues to lead Casey Mears and Reed Sorensen after 34 laps at Michigan. Working our 4th caution period here at Michigan. While you were away, a couple of cars going around, beginning with the guy we were just talking about, Cale Gale.
Some of these guys were reporting that there may have been some oil down on the racetrack. We see Jeff Burton spin also behind him.
We'll go on board with Jeff Burton. There also was a report that the 77 of Bernie Lamar may have been smoking prior to this.
Yeah, that looks like they got into something the way his car was wiggling there.
Back there somewhere.
This is on board with Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Cars on the bottom, cars on the bottom. I have some oil over there. Be careful, I have some oil. Caution is out. Caution is out. Outside from behind.
And there's the one car of Cale Gale. Was running in the top 5 and now is scored back in the 40th position. Kurt Busch, Casey Mears, Reed Sorensen, Mark Martin, Carl Edwards, the top 5. And with Kurt out front, it'll be interesting to watch these guys chasing from behind. See if they can hang with him. Mark Martin's had a strong car early in this race. My probably has not shown everything he's got. And Edwards right behind him in the 5th spot. 36 left. Sorry. Yep. Pit road is open and going to get some business down there. Casey Mears leading a parade down pit road. Dave?
The 41 car of Reed Sorensen is in now. The car is still loose. They're going to make a chassis adjustment, put on 4 fresh tires, and fill it full of fuel for Reed. Matt.
He and his teammate Casey Mears on a little bit different pit sequence now. Casey pitted under the first caution after contact with Greg Biffle to fix some of the cosmetic damage and also work on the chassis. They made some significant chassis adjustments this last time as well, just trying to find the proper balance on that 42 machine.
Be careful about that speeding thing down there.
Mears, Sorensen. There's Jeff Burton's car. They check the toe after the spin.
Yeah, Bill, trying to realign the front end now. Check the front end alignment. Jeff Burton talking about getting into the wall and spinning around. He had a ton of sod up under the front valance of that car, that lower lip of the front fender. As a matter of fact, there's still some hanging down from there right now. They're trying to get this car back in shape to contend again.
Another guy that was running up front started outside the front row. 4th caution period of the day on board with Kevin Harvick through the smoke at Michigan.
I agree.
Without a Trace Wednesdays, now one of the biggest shows on television.
He's been gone for nearly 2 hours.
Has a night all its own.
Here we go.
4 back-to-back episodes Without a Trace Wednesdays, starting at 7, only on TNT.
Still under caution here at Michigan. You can see him blowing the speedy dry off the racing surface. 3 of the top 10 cars pitted. Casey Mears, Reed Sorensen, and the 9 of Scott Riggs. Mears came out 18th, Sorensen 19th, and Riggs back in the 21st spot. So some fast cars and a variety of pit strategies have shuffled the running order down to pit road. Here's Alan.
Well, there we go. Let's talk about the Busch Series Championship leader, Kevin Harvick, who was screaming on his radio when that caution came out about the oil all the way around the racetrack. He was not a happy camper that it wasn't spotted sooner than it was, but they got away. No harm, no foul. No pit stop either for Harvick. They made an adjustment on the last pit stop, running 6th now. Still needs some help with the handling of that car to contend for the win. Marty?
Alan, Carl Edwards finished 3rd in his only Busch Series race here at Michigan. Right now, Carl Edwards runs in the 3rd position. He said the car is very good in traffic, a little free, a little lacking some rear grip when he goes to the gas, so they made a wedge adjustment on the last stop. He was curious about Denny Hamlin's line around the racetrack, which was high fairly early in the run. Carl says, you know, this car is going to be good. We just need some green flag laps to show it. Matt?
Marty, a scare a few moments ago for Mark Martin in the 6th car. Now, while we were away, still under green, Mark came back on the radio, lap 34, and says he had a tire going down. And then after further review, he said it was either oil or he made a mistake just driving it in too hard, or indeed it was a tire. Now, he had his teammate Carl Edwards pull up alongside and look at both sides of the tires, the left and the right, so the tires were fine. Mark said it must have been the oil, but they too are concerned about possible weather in the area. They are watching it on their computers on top of the pit box. Dave?
Matt, we saw Reed Sorensen come to pit road. He gave up the lead. He will start 19th. That gives the lead to Kurt Busch, who has reported to crew chief Matt Gimbel that the changes they made the last time, track bar adjustment, hurt the exit of the corner, but it was better in the middle. They're talking about a slight air pressure adjustment to fix the exit the next time.
Thanks, guys. We'll watch those stories develop. They continue to work on cleaning off the racing surface here at Michigan. You're watching the NASCAR Busch Series Carfax 250 on TNT. Field just about to get the 1-to-go signal here at Michigan. We'll go back to green flag racing this afternoon. Tomorrow on TNT, our coverage of the PGA Championship continues at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Final round of the PGA Championship from Medina. And a lot of the guys in NASCAR enjoy playing a little golf, and some of those golfers enjoy a little bit of racing, like the caddy for Tiger Woods, Steve Williams. They went racing over in New Zealand.
Tiger really surprised me. You know, we're driving dirt track stock cars, and I would have thought it was going to take him quite a few laps to get up to speed, but lo and behold, we'd only done about 10 laps, and he was sort of on the pace already, and I think he shocked a lot of people that were there that day. I'm a huge race fan. I've all sort of racing, but particularly NASCAR, World of Outlaws, and dirt late model racing. Asphalt's for getting to the track and dirt's for racing on, so I sort of stand by that. But hey, I'm a dirt track racer myself, but you know, I love NASCAR.
He is a huge, huge NASCAR fan.
Looks like someone took out Tiger.
What were those things they were racing?
I don't know. I've been to New Zealand quite a few times, but I've never seen those driving around.
Would you climb aboard one of those?
Yes, I would if I knew where that was at.
Yeah. Well, we'll work on that for you. You can see the sun has come out here in Michigan, turning into a beautiful afternoon after a rainy morning and some rain earlier this afternoon that delayed the start of this race just a little bit. But we've got 42 laps complete, and Kurt Busch is the race leader. Again, the guys that pitted came out about 18th. That's where Mears and Sorensen are. Daniel Quinn is 20th. But Kurt Busch has had a strong race car. Now we're going to find out if Mark Martin maybe has something for Kurt. Mark second in that 6 car, then Carl Edwards, Matt Kenseth. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has worked his way to 5th. Then it's Harvick, Robbie Gordon, Tony Stewart, Denny Hamlin, and Clint Bowyer, the top 10. Green flag's out.
Kurt Busch again gets a good restart. He's been pretty good on these restarts this year.
Did a real strong job on the road course.
Watkins Glen, yeah, last weekend.
You are flying here at Michigan. One of the fastest tracks on the NASCAR circuit.
Dale Jr. trying to get under Kenseth. They both slide up the racetrack a little bit. How's Dale Jr.'s car? He looks pretty good right now, Marty.
He calls it a sporty little race car as he passes Matt Kenseth for position. But Wally, he promises he would be on the top of the racetrack. He's running the bottom of the racetrack. The car just doesn't work as good as he thought it was on the top of the racetrack. Right now he's kind of in the middle, but it works much better on the bottom of the racetrack. So he said in 1 and 2, it's excellent. 3 and 4, not so good, but 1 and 2 is where he's really fast. Matt?
And Tony Stewart had it pinned down at the bottom. You heard him say in the pre-race, that's where he likes to run here at Michigan, trying to work the inside as Dale Jr. and Denny Hamlin go to the high side. He says the car is way too fast at the beginning of the run, meaning they needed to work on the back half of the run to make the car better. They've worked on that with some track bar adjustments, trying to keep the car freer later.
We got trouble on the straightaway, off of 4. Oh, I was looking at that, Bill. They were almost 4 abreast coming off there, and they just seemed to just run out of room. Johnny Sauter, Scott Wimmer. A lot of damage, Johnny's car.
5th caution of the day. Here's what you were talking about, Wally.
Yeah, see, these guys were just racing really hard off the 4, and they just looked like they all ran out of room right here.
Jeff Burton and Augie Vidovich got out of town just in time.
See Ashton Lewis Jr. there in the middle. Looked like the 14 car really came up on the 25 car that really started the 25 car wiggling.
On board with Jeff Burton, watching it all unfold.
This would be a great shot. See, the 14 will slide up, get into the 25, and they just run out of room.
4 wide now,
And that's
4
it.
wide. You're record beside you. Keep digging. Caution is out.
Easiest 3 cars Jeff Burton will pass all day right there.
It's a
When they
wide
wreck in front of you.
It's a wide racetrack, but not wide enough right there.
Yep.
Ashton Lewis Jr. John Wood in the 47 car is the lucky dog. He will come around and pick up a lap. So Ashton Lewis limps back to pit road. And the pace car back out.
Wow. Did we say this
Field
race
and
normally ran green a long time?
Yes, I believe you said that.
I said that
Yes,
down.
you did.
We didn't say that?
I think you said it.
What a dope.
But normally it does.
Yeah,
it really does.
I mean, there's been, I think I was even a race here once in a Cup car. We never had it.
Dale Jarrett won.
Yep.
Dale Jarrett won. Boy, he had a dominating car that day.
Those guys, the Yates cars used to really be strong here. And, you know, they had the cars they could run on the bottom, and it just seemed like they had so much torque in those engines. They could run on the bottom and pass guys getting off the corner, which was just, you don't see very often.
Well, the caution is out at Michigan. 46 laps complete in the Carfax 250. Field coming to the green. NASCAR fans, race to your mailbox and find your blue Valpak envelope full of savings and a chance to win the VIP Grandstand Getaway. Valpak, there's something in it for you, Dave Burns.
Matt Gimbel, crew chief, Kurt Busch's car. What are your weathermen and you deciding to do out here, Matt? Stay in front?
Stay in front. No, yeah, that's kind of our strategy right now. Let's just stay out front. The weather's been kind of spotty all day today, so hoping it stays green. And Penske truck window Dodge has been running really good today, so let's hope we can keep it up there.
Kurt's been running well, especially under green. Marty?
Well, Dave, let's talk to Pierre Coutel, known as PK, around the garage area about Carl Edwards' race car. You more worried about 39 car or the rain that's coming?
A little of both. You know, 39 car's pretty stout, so we're going to play follow the leader as far as he goes. He's here to win a race, so he's going to play the rain game. So we'll just play with him and see what he's got. We're waiting for some green flag runs here. I think we'll be all right.
That's what Carl said earlier. We just need some green flag laps. Speaking of green flag, I believe there's one on the racetrack, Bill.
There certainly is. Kurt Busch, the race leader.
Oh, Carl Edwards just trying to squeeze in between the cars of Johnny Sauter and Kurt Busch.
Johnny got out of the gas.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Oh, Mark Martin.
Yep, he's sliding. He's loose. Dale Jr. is going to take advantage of that, try to get him on the high side. Looks like Robbie Gordon may even try to get on the bottom.
This is lap 50. Lap 63 would get you past the halfway mark and make it an official race.
Robbie Gordon, nice strong move. Going to move into the third position. Dale Jr. right behind him. Hamlin taking a look underneath Kenson. Boy, Mark must have felt something wrong, whether he's got a tire going down or something. He is backing way out of it.
Denny Hamlin trying to hang on to those leaders, Allen.
And Bill, he had lost a lot of ground when they made their pit stop back at lap 21. They had a lug nut fall off. He lost several positions. He's been trying to dig out of that hole ever since.
Just trying to hang in there next to Tony Stewart. I think the car got a little bit loose up there. Mark was just trying to figure out why.
And they're behind Harvick. Harvick falls in behind Stewart. That's Brian Vickers in that Mountain Dew Chevy, the 57 car. More on Mark Martin from Matt Yoakum.
Bill, he has said absolutely nothing on the radio. Now remember, a few laps back he was saying that the car just quickly got loose. He thought he might have had a tire going down. That wasn't the case. Right now he's just trying to settle in. He says the car is a little free at the beginning of the run, trying to keep it that way, but the car is just so ultra sensitive when he gets in traffic.
I think that's what happened, man. I think just on the restart, whether the tires were just a little bit cold or whatever, but he slid up the racetrack in 1 and 2 and lost a lot of spots. So he seems like he's starting to work his way back up now. He's got some heat in these tires.
On board with Harvick. This is for the lead. Carl Edwards in the 60, thinking about going under Kurt Busch. Down the backstretch. Robbie Gordon watches this from third. Matt Kenseth in the 17, Hamlin in the 20. This is the 5th place battle. There's Earnhardt right in front of him, and then Robbie Gordon driving for Earnhardt. Edwards still trying to get around Kurt Busch, and now he's going to make it. Maybe.
You really got to clear the car before you get to middle 1 and 2 if you're going to be able to slide up in front of him. Didn't quite pull it off, but he still has a little bit of an advantage going down the straightaway, so maybe Kurt Busch will give him some room. Got it.
Marty on the leader.
Well, Bill, he tried everything. He tried the high line, he tried the middle, he tried the bottom. I don't think this pass is complete yet, but one thing Carl does believe is the longer they run, they're actually better than Busch, and that's an awfully close call coming off turn 4, isn't it, Wally?
That's very close, and Kurt Busch is not giving it up.
Edwards has not officially led a lap. He's going to try and lead this one.
Yeah, now he's got to slide up. See, he had the shot there. He should have probably tried to slide up there a little bit earlier. Now Kurt Busch is going to have a pretty good run getting off of turn 2. Got the momentum.
And we've seen many finishes here at Michigan just like this.
Yeah. Now he's got it. Let's see if Kurt Busch will drive underneath him and do the crossover.
He's going to try.
Trying to come back
No,
inside.
but he's going to get him loose, maybe.
All clear. Great job, bud.
Edwards leads the lap.
He worked for it.
He sure did. And it was fun watching. Probably fun racing. That's what he talked about being in this race. Obviously, we'd like to finish second in the championship standings. But it's a fun place to drive, as you've talked about. Report from downstairs from Dave.
And while Robbie Gordon chases these guys in third position, there's a lot happening at Junior Motorsports. Shane Huffman is up on the box. He's the new driver for the 88, but he was not approved for 1.5 mile and larger tracks by NASCAR. Next week, the tour goes to Bristol. Shane will be able to race there. Interestingly, also in the pit box today is the former driver, Mark McFarland. Guess it's a big family around here, and Mark's still just hanging out.
Still works with the team, does not drive for them anymore. Robbie giving that car a good ride this afternoon here at Michigan. Edwards up front. Busch in second. Then it's Robbie. There's Junior in the 8 car.
Like you said, he is running quite a bit lower than I think he would like to.
Likes that high groove.
He likes that high groove. Like where he kind of thought he was going to wind up today, but goes down into turn 1. Takes a look underneath Robbie. Car seems like it's got a lot of grip. What is he saying, Marty?
Well, he wants to run that high groove. He just can't make the car work up there. He waves to his, I guess his employee for the weekend, Robbie Gordon, in that 88 car behind him. He was able to pass him underneath. The car really works well in the middle for Junior. He was talking about the 39 and the 60, though, under the last caution. Said, man, those guys are fast. I have no idea how I'm going to catch them. I'm doing all I can do just to hang on to 4th back here.
You're not doing too bad back there.
That's their 3rd spot now.
But Carl Edwards really.
Well,
Yep.
Robbie's going to take a look. He's sliding up the racetrack.
See Carl go by, then the 39 of Busch in second. Earnhardt Jr. in 3rd. And that's a pretty racy threesome right behind him right there, too. Hamlin, Martin, Kenseth. Looking to the inside of Robbie. And Mark looking at the inside of Denny Hamlin.
Mark's got a really good car. I just think he lost so much track position and spots there after that deal on the restart.
And even as wide as this place is, you get back there in traffic and your car is just not as good as when you're running out front. Thinking about making it 3 wide back there.
Felt like a lot of these guys were saying, you know, you've got to go where everybody else isn't, and hopefully your car works there. Problem is, a lot of those guys take up a lot of the racetrack in front of you.
A lot of mirror driving here?
No, not too much, because just like I said, there's enough racetrack here. Mirror driving doesn't really accomplish too much.
Carl Edwards by 2 seconds over Kurt Busch. The speed's at the line.
And Kurt Busch seems like he may have lost a little bit of the handling on that car. Got Junior working on him right now.
For second place, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Kurt Busch. More from Dave.
And unfortunately, Bill, not much more. Kurt hasn't said anything on the radio, has not complained at all about the handling of that race car. He's just been getting the position of the cars around him, and unfortunately now, it's 8 car in front of you.
Junior pulls off the pass.
Now,
well, either all these other guys got better, I'm not sure, but Obviously, Kurt's not as fast as he was first part of this race.
Marty, weren't you talking about how Junior was trying to figure out how to catch those fast guys?
Exactly. I think he found the way, Bill, you know. But he wanted to get the pass done in turns 3 and 4 instead of 1 and 2. He's a little bit tight coming off of turns 1 and 2. And, you know, Junior wants to run more of these Busch Series races. He's learning these races. He's helping himself in the Cup program. So he'd asked Budweiser, can I do more of this next year? They said, sure. So he's going to run probably 7 Busch Series races next year and would love to do it for his own race team. He has filed that request with DEI saying, you know, I'd love to run my own race cars in these Busch Series races, and he thinks he's going to be able to make it happen.
And every track operator right now saying, run my race, run my race. Stacy Compton in the 59 car involved in an earlier crash, returned to the track, but got hit with a speeding ticket exiting pit road. He has currently scored 42nd, 37 laps down. Carl Edwards stretching it out. A little under 3-second lead over Dale Earnhardt Jr. But Junior coming, trying to catch that 60 car. Carl Edwards got his first NASCAR Nextel Cup Series start here at Michigan. Had a lot of success here trying to go to victory lane today. Just past the halfway mark in the Carfax 250 for the NASCAR Busch Series here at the Michigan International Speedway. Have a need for speed, win big in the Zantac Need for Speed Instant Win Game. Win a 2007 Ford Mustang, a trip for 2 to Talladega, and meet AmeriQuest racing driver Greg Biffle. See specially marked packages for details, no purchase necessary. Maximum strength Zantac. For heartburn, why wait? Zantac's fast.
I need that working with you.
So is
some of that
Carl
up here.
I knew you were waiting for something. I could tell by the way you were looking. All right, Edwards is fast, and so are guys on pit road. Let's go through the field, and Snyder bats lead off.
Carl Edwards, #1 on the racetrack, Bill, but #2 in the championship standings. The gap between him and Kevin Harvick, 443 points. A win is going to help, but he's going to need a little more help than winning in Michigan to win the championship.
Right, if we could just get Harvick to miss his flight, you know, maybe tamper with his alarm clock so he doesn't get up on race day. We have to cover, you know, do that for about a month, I think, to have a chance, but we could get him.
That sounds like an operation for Wally Dallenbach. Set all of Kevin Harvick's alarm clocks for him. Tiny bit tight going to turn 1 right there for Carl Edwards, or actually that's turn 3. Otherwise, he's pretty happy with the race car. Dale Earnhardt Jr. says his car is tight in turn 2, and he says, you know what, I want my lap times and Carl Edwards' lap times because I don't know if I'm catching him or not. He's so far ahead of me, I can't see him. Matt?
Mark Martin in the 6th car continues to mow down the field, trying to get himself back to the front. Like Wally mentioned, just got himself hung up in some traffic, settled in, and working his way back to the front, calling for a small minor half a round up on the track bar on the next stop.
Denny Hamlin continuing to move forward. He has round Robin Gordon up into the 4th position. Hamlin pretty happy with his car, as crew chief Dave Rogers tells me they're good until lap 80 on fuel, about 10 laps from now.
Robbie Gordon's car was pretty good. He said nothing much on the radio until his boss, Dale Earnhardt Jr., passed him. Then he radioed in just a little bit tight. As for Matt Kenseth, his car was getting better, but most recently he radioed in that his car doesn't turn well enough in the center. Loose on exit as well. So a little bit tough right now for the 17 car, Matt.
Tony Stewart trying for his first non-restricted plate NASCAR Busch Series win. 2-time winner Daytona. His best finish on this type of track configuration with a 2nd at Fontana, the sister track to the Michigan Speedway. He says the car is good, but the last third of the corner is the only place where he is free at the moment.
Kurt Busch finally radioed in, and he was very specific. My car will not turn off of turn 4, and this is how we get beat in our Nextel Cup car every week as well. No turning ability. They will have to pit in about 7 laps, Marty.
Well, Dave, early today, J.J. Yeley started this race 42nd. They last took on tires on lap 19, last took fuel at lap 26, and the car has actually been pretty good. Worked its way up through the field. No Rick Rip right now, but they're planning on fixing that in the stop pretty soon. Matt?
Marty, Casey Mears in the 42 car says the car balance-wise is good. He feels like the right rear of the car is puffed up a little bit, he says. Looking for a wedge adjustment on the last stop. Says it's just too tight in and just a tick free on exit.
Reed Sorensen got back on pit strategy, but he restarted this time 17th, has worked his way all the way up to 11th. Very good race car of the 41, Alan.
Well, Clint Boyer started this race in 39th position. They took tires on lap 12, then fuel only at lap 21 to move up to 7th place. They've slipped back just a little bit, Clint lacking some rear grip on his car. Kevin Harvick has not liked the way his car's handled in the last stretch of the race at all. He told the crew chief, Shane Wilson, to work on the front end of the car. It needs to turn better. Kevin Harvick slipping back just a little bit. Matt?
Brian Vickers with the 57 car running the old throwback Darrell Waltrip Mountain Dew colors this afternoon. Says the car earlier was way too loose all the way through the corner. Entry, center, and on exit. They made a track bar adjustment. That has helped. Now it's just way too tight in the center, Marty.
35th to 15th for Todd Cleaver today, Matt. They told him to stay on the bottom of the racetrack. That's where your best lap times have come in the last few laps. So the car just needs more rear grip for that 06. Tomorrow he will make his second ever Nextel Cup Series start. He's picked up 20 positions today during the running of the race.
Thanks, guys. That's the top 15. Jeff Burton is 16th, then Jason Leffler, Scott Riggs, Kyle Busch, and Jeff Green, the top 20. There are 34 cars scored on the lead lap here at Michigan with 73 laps complete. Carl Edwards up front at Michigan, being chased by the rest of the field, including Earnhardt and Hamlin. We're back here at Michigan. Pit stops under the green. Marty.
Bill Earnhardt Jr. pitched from the second position. These are scheduled pit stops. Finally, probably the final pit stop of the day. A pound in the right rear tire for a car that's just a little bit tight in turn 2. That's it. Fairly quick stop for the 8 crew.
This is going to put these guys right on the edge of their pit window for fuel. So Earnhardt Jr., the first of the leaders, on to pit road. So Earnhardt trying to get back up to speed. This is the battle for second. Denny Hamlin has it. Mark Martin is following. Everyone chasing Carl Edwards. Edwards with about a 5-second lead on Hamlin. That's Stephen Light in the 90. And here comes Earnhardt on those fresh tires.
Yeah, he's a lap down right now, so he needs this thing to cycle through. Here comes Kurt Busch. He's going to hit the pits.
He has led in all 7 of his Busch Series races this year, Dave.
But Bill, he's fallen back badly during this last run. Remember, will not turn, especially coming off of turn number 4. What they're going to do is put more air in the right rear tire. They're also going to raise the track bar, which is a chassis adjustment in the back. Both of those adjustments will loosen this race car, hopefully make it easier for Kurt to turn. 4 fresh tires as well, and they will fill it full of fuel. Good stop going, and he leaves pit road.
It's a big change.
Carl Edwards gives up the race lead. Marty?
Man, at the end of that run, Carl Edwards had a fast race car, Bill, and they're hoping that we avoid any weather today because the longer we run, clearly the 60 car very fast. They're not quite as fast at the beginning of a run as most of the other cars are. A little bit tight, especially into turn 1 at the very end of that run. So what they're going to do is take a quarter pound of pressure out of both left side tires. That should give him a little more front grip and a little more rear grip. Help out the car all the way around. They're going to put on left side tires for the 60 car, hoping for a fast pit stop under green flag conditions here. Waiting on the rear tires just a little bit. He heads off pit road.
Spent a few seconds there. Here's Hamlin in the 20, Mark Martin in the 6. Matt?
Mark Martin, a 2-time winner, getting a clear windshield. Part of his tear-off was already ripping up, making a full round on the track bar for Mark Martin to try to keep the car a tick on the free side. Solid stop so far. Let's go further up pit road. Nate?
Matt Kence's car is getting a wedge adjustment, also an air pressure adjustment. Tight in the center, loose off the corner. This should help. Alan?
And Denny Hamlin had moved up the second spot. He's in here. He said the car was a little bit loose, meaning it didn't have as much back-end grip as he wanted, but he said track conditions are coming to us. Let's not change anything. Kevin Harvick, the championship leader, is in. They're going to make a track bar adjustment. The wrench already in and out of that adjustment in the back window that positions the rear end of the car, and a 4-tire change for Harvick, Matt.
Slight cosmetic damage in the right rear corner of the bumper for Tony Stewart. Wally Rogers, the crew chief today, on the top of the box, making an air pressure adjustment call to try to free up Stewart. Stewart says the car needed to be a little more on the free side for this run to the finish. AB?
And And here's Clint Boyer coming in, holding down a spot just outside the top 10 before the cycle of stops began. Remember, he started back in 39th place. Going to make a 4-tire change and a couple of adjustments on this car and get him back out on the track and see where things shake out for Boyer. Been a great day so far. Looks like the stop's taken forever on the right rear. They have the air wrench brake on the right rear of that car. It looks like maybe the wheel was on the hose, Marty.
J.J. Ailey having a terrific run now, and he will hit pit road. Remember, they've only taken tires on once in this race, so they desperately need some tires on this 18 car. He just has had no rear grip, especially at the end of this run. They're talking about an air pressure and wedge adjustment on this stop for J.J. Ailey, who, remember, started 42nd today, has made his way up towards the top 10. They make the air pressure adjustment and also the wedge adjustment, trying to tighten up that car just a little bit. Dave?
Same adjustments for Kyle Busch, Marty. His car, however, they want to go the opposite way with because his car was tight. So they're going to loosen it up by changing the chassis in the opposite direction, using those wrenches through the rear window, change 4 tires as well. Slow coming around to the left side, the crew really waiting on there. And this will be somewhat of a slow stop for Kyle Busch. Matt?
Brian Vickers, Dave, hard on the brakes coming off the banking. Since the car was loose on entry, it gone tight in the center and loose on exit. Calling for an air pressure adjustment on this stop. Duke crew going to work on the left side, get the tires off. Solid, consistent stop so far. Waiting on the fuel, and he's away, Alan.
Jeff Burton is in after that accident he was in earlier, where they made 3 pit stops for repairs. He charged all the way back up into the top 15 under the green flag. A 4-tire change on this car, and a pretty good stop there for the Children's team.
Very good stop.
All this happening under green, 82 laps now complete.
Reed Sorensen, yeah, he's in the lead. Casey Mears is second. Leffler in third.
Scott Riggs in fourth. Then Jeff Green. Jay Sauter, Michael Waltrip in the 7th spot. Again, different teams on different pit sequences here. So Sorensen able to stay out longer. The clouds have moved back in over the Michigan International Speedway. 20 laps past the halfway mark. The Carfax 250. Reed Sorensen runs out front with Casey Mears chasing. Pit strategy playing out here at Michigan. 86 laps are complete in the Carfax 250 for the NASCAR Busch Series. Reed Sorensen leads Casey Mears by about 0.7 of a second. There's Reed in the 41 car. First time he's led since Phoenix in April. And our old pal Benny Parsons says this guy is a win waiting to happen. BP, hope you're enjoying the race this afternoon, and we look forward to having you up here with us tomorrow for the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series at Michigan.
Yeah, don't leave me alone again, BP, with Weber.
Dave, save me, would you?
I'll do that, Weber. You know, the thing that really woke this 41 car up when he came in on a lap, about lap 34.
Maybe coming in now, Dave.
Well, okay. We'll talk about what he's going to do now. He's going to have a right front air adjustment as well on the 41 right now because his car is loose, but it was loose before. They made a wet adjustment that really woke it up, and he's driven that car back by people. He hasn't just gotten track position by chance. He's driven around a lot of people. So it's been a good day so far for Reed Sorensen. Now he's going to come on to pit road. We see him making his way down at the pit speed limit. Don't want to speed down here and get yourself a pass-through penalty, which would be bad. The crew is now going to go ahead, and you won't see, at this point, at least they haven't talked about any wrenches going in the car, so it'll just be air pressure. And when you increase the air pressure on the right front of the car, it will turn, how about less well? And that's what they're after right now. The car's a little bit loose. 4 tires for Reed. He is out of here.
14.8 for Sorensen, and we've seen a lot of these guys on pit road waiting for the extra fuel to make sure the tank is full.
Yeah, they're trying to get every drop in if they can.
Casey Mears gives up the race lead. He heads for Matt.
Bill making his way down to Brad Parent and company. You can see the Mears gang sign, pulls to a stop, has a nice opening right in front of his stall. Now, the track bar adjustment is what the call is. You can see the significant adjustment there. The car free all place. Good stop so far, as you can see up in the corner of your screen, and a battle on the racetrack. Bill, service complete for the 42.
Earnhardt and Edwards. And when Jay Sauter pits, this would be the battle for the lead.
Earnhardt just didn't have enough again, getting in turn 2. He's going to have to duck behind Carl Edwards again and try to take another run. And they got some traffic up ahead of them. They'll pick their way through that.
Marty.
Well, guys, one thing to keep in mind, last time these guys were battling for the lead, the 60 car was too far out in front of Junior. He couldn't catch him, so Junior really wanted to, on this run, keep the 60 car close to him, because at the end of the run, both cars are very fast, but he would love to get around him early in the run because he knows how fast that 60 car is on old tires.
Oh, and he might just do it because Carl Edwards just got loose up in turn 2. Just enough for Earnhardt to make that pass.
And now Edwards would like to come back and see if he can loosen up Earnhardt. A lot of these cars pitting around lap 82 or working lap 90 now, and you have to take green-white checkers into consideration. Alan, a lot of guys waiting to make sure they got all the fuel into that tank, right?
Yeah, Bill, that's what happened on that. It looked like from the angle I was watching the pit stop that the air hose might have been caught on the left rear tire, but really they were done and clear and waiting on the fuel. They're using a little bit smaller fuel can this season, and it takes a little bit longer than it used to. So now, instead of waiting on the tire change, sometimes you're waiting on the fuel to get put into the car.
And that's what Boyer and those guys were working on down there to make sure they got it all in there. So Earnhardt got around him and tries to pull away. Earnhardt Jr. in second. Carl in third. Behind Jay Sauter here at Michigan. "94 laps are complete here for the NASCAR Busch Series. Tomorrow on TNT, NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing from Michigan. Jeff Burton's on the pole. Sure in the front row with Elliott Sadler. Coverage begins at 2 o'clock Eastern time with the Bank of America Countdown to Green on TNT. Wally, what's
Yeah, hurry up and get that done, man. These guys are 4 wide going down the straightaway.
It's hard to read the card with you yanking it out of my hand.
Oh, man, there's good stuff going on. Earnhardt Jr. Got Carl Edwards in there. Mark Martin's in there. There's Junior. Now in the lead.
Gotten around Jay Sauter. Allen.
And Bill, just to explain how Jay Sauter in that 01 car got up there, he pitted at lap 47 under the caution when few others did. He's been on the track this whole time, so now he's waiting to make a green flag pit stop in about another 2 laps.
He was also waiting for it to rain, wasn't he?
Yes, they were. His crew chief, Fred Wanke's a veteran of this sport. He knows how to play those games.
Actually, he was the only one seeing rain on his windshield.
Probably screaming for it, right? So Earnhardt out front of Michigan. And wants to run more of these next year. I wonder why. Look at him go. Mark Martin now runs second. Sauter is flipped to third. Edwards back to fourth. Denny Hamlin is fifth.
I just want to mention that Kurt Busch falls to 11th right now. So I don't think that that change they made helped their car much.
And they also lost some time on the pit stop when a tire got away. The tire carrier had to track it down.
Be interested to see if that car went back to loose. I think Dave was working on that one.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., the race leader. Mark Martin into second. Carl Edwards to third. Jay Sauter to pit road with 97 laps done. The Carfax 250 from Michigan on TNT brought to you by Carfax. Never buy a used car without Carfax. Get a Carfax vehicle history report, ask your dealer, or go to Carfax.com. By Sony HD TV. Transform the way you watch racing with Sony, the world's greatest high-definition television. And by Nexium. Learn more about Nexium at purplepill.com.
I'm going to rip those things right out of your hand.
You should when the caution comes out. We can do them again.
I went for it, and you started speeding up. I thought it was really important that you finish.
So you leap to your feet.
Down so we don't blow any more tires.
Right front is flat. Right front is flat, Kel.
Slow down, good.
6th caution. We'd been green since lap 50. This is lap 100.
Just loops it around. I don't know if he had a tire going down already, or that flat spot is the tire, and then it blew.
So a learning experience for the 21-year-old.
I think he just probably lost it. If the right front went down, he probably blew that when he had the brakes on sliding.
Michael Waltrip in the 99 car is the lucky dog. Currently scored in the 24th position, the first car off the lead lap. So this erases Earnhardt Jr.'s lead and will put Mark Martin right on his bumper. Then Carl Edwards, Denny Hamlin, and Tony Stewart the top 5. And just 24 laps to go. And with 24 cars on the lead lap, some of those guys...
I don't know. I would expect everybody to come in.
Everybody?
Yeah. Well, the top 10 anyway. I don't know about their back.
So if the top 10 come in and I'm 11, I'm staying out. Let's see what happens when they get around here.
But you would never be 11th.
You're right. Earnhardt Jr. had a 2.5-second lead over Mark Martin. He last pitted on lap 74. Looking like he's coming. Some are, some aren't.
Well, all the lead lap guys are coming.
Matt.
And Mark Martin, the first of the leaders to hit his pit box. Martin says no changes in air pressure. The car is great on the get-go. A tire almost gets away, but they do make a track bar adjustment just to try to free him up just to take more. Let's head into the triples first with Dave Burns.
Matt, this is a huge break for Matt Kenseth in 17. He was going to have to stop under green lap 106 because they didn't get the car full of fuel last time. Now they fill it, make a chassis adjustment for a loose race car, and get 4 fresh tires. Alan.
Going to be a 4-tire change for Denny Hamlin, an air pressure adjustment and a track bar adjustment. Jeff Burton is away quickly. We'll follow up on his stop. Hamlin's going to lose a little track position, Marty.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. already off pit road, 14-2 on the stop, Allen. 4 tires. No changes for Jr., who said he's getting all he can get in turns 3 and 4. Carl Edwards, the very first stall on pit road, left pit road already as well. His car too loose, pound out of the right rear tire.
Here's the race off of pit road. Watch for Robbie Gordon to go by. We'll check on his pit strategy when we come back to Michigan. 103 laps are complete. Here's the Holiday Inn race recap. Mark Martin on the pole. Jeff Burton outside on the front row. Had 5 cautions in the first 50 laps.
Greg Biffle gets turned into the wall. Casey Mears in the 42 car. Was going to try to make the pass on the outside, and it looked like Biffle drifted up a little bit. Casey had to go to the left, misjudged. Turned him. Here's Michael Waltrip getting loose in 4. Doesn't hit anything. It does come and have to change 4 tires.
Here's a mystery one for you.
I don't understand this one. I have to look for Stacy on this one.
Did his burnout in the middle of the race. All by himself. Lap 35. 21-year-old Cale Gale. And Jeff Burton ended up in some oil as well and went around. Here's a mess.
Yeah, ran out of room here. Ashton Lewis, Scott Wimmer, Johnny Sauter just ran out of room up at 4, coming off of 4.
Our Holiday Inn race recap. Now we can set the field for you on board with Jeff Burton. J.J. Yaley did not pit. Last pitted on lap 80. He stayed out. He is the race leader. Robbie Gordon runs second. Then Earnhardt, Carl Edwards, and Jeff Burton. The 0-1 of Jay Sauter is the last car on the lead lap, so he's actually at the tail end of the lead lap. And you've got a lot of lapped cars on the inside.
Right, and Robbie Gordon took 2 tires, and then Earnhardt, from Earnhardt back, all have 4 fresh tires.
With the exception of the 29 of Jeff Burton, who took 2.
Okay.
So Earnhardt in the 8 and 3rd, Burton in the 29 and 5th. 2 tires. See how that works out.
Didn't work out real good for Robbie on that restart. I don't know what happened there, but he lost a lot of space right there. Yaley goes to the high side. He's going to put the 0-1 lap down of Jay Sauter.
So J.J. Yaley, who's had a difficult weekend.
I'll say. And he needs to just get away.
Marty.
Yeah, Bill, I talked to Jason Ratcliffe, the crew chief for J.J. Yaley. He said, listen, you know what? We started 42nd today. We have on old tires. It was a great gamble. If we finish top 5 out of this thing, outstanding. Top 10, I'm happy with it. But, you know, as long as we're out front, I'm going to enjoy it. That clean air is going to mean a lot. And he's checking out from the 88 right now.
Yeah, but there's going to be a caution here.
And don't look in the mirror. Unless you want to see the caution.
19 laps to go.
And there's almost one.
That's just a mess of cars right there.
I couldn't tell who that was that got sideways there. It was a 64 car.
Steve Wallace.
Steve Wallace.
Mark Martin in the 6th. There's the 29 of Burton, the 39 of Kurt Busch. For the lead, Robbie Gordon.
See, now those 2 are working good. I'm waiting for the 4 to start working good in that Earnhardt car.
Here comes Junior. Again, Robbie just taking 2 tires. J.J. Yaley stayed out. Earnhardt Jr. with 4 tires. More from Dave.
On the 88 car, Robbie Gordon, crew chief Wes Ward had confidence that they could just change those 2 right sides and be good because they only had 19 laps on the set. So those left side tires still good. They did make a track bar adjustment because the car had been loose for Robbie Gordon.
And
Marty?
Go ahead, Marty.
Yeah, I saw that bobble too, Bill, that you were talking about. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. was a little upset with his corporate teammate. Not upset with him, but he said, man, I hired the guy this week. Now he's out in front of me, and I still got to pass him for the win. So the 4 tires Jr., though, thinks will prevail. Remember, very good in the long run for Jr. He said the car was awfully fast. He said before they pitted, if we do pit, guys, don't touch this race car. There's 4 tires. That's it.
Well, Earnhardt's got him. The question is, can he get around him? Because Robbie Gordon
is tough to pass. But it's his car. He can wreck it if he wants, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you wreck your own car for the win?
Yeah, but NASCAR may not like that.
Or Navy. Well, let's see who's the quickest. Earnhardt. Oh, wait a minute. Mark Martin.
Now, Mark's been in that traffic most of the day, but when he gets out of it, he's got a good race car, but I don't know if he's going to have enough time to catch those guys.
That's the thing. By the time he gets out of it, he's 2 seconds behind the leader.
Got hosed on 1 restart, and then got trapped in all the traffic on this restart. Robbie Gordon in the 88. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8. 15 to go when they come by this time. Well, look at this. That's Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch in the 39, Tony Stewart in the 33, Reed Sorensen in the 41 car.
And Kurt Busch gets a big push from Reed Sorensen. Had a good run off of 4. Got up and pushed him by all these guys.
Like we've talked about, racing all over this track. Dave?
The 39 of Kurt Busch requested from his crew that they go ballistic on these changes the last time, so they made an air pressure and a big chassis adjustment to try to get the 39 to turn. It seems to be working.
Trying to break free from Sorensen, but Reed's not going to give up easy.
Wow. Sorensen takes that spot back.
Sure did. Tony Stewart looking low. There go the race leaders.
Whoa. Jeff Burton in the wall just a little bit, coming off of 2.
Marty?
Well, somewhere back there, Bill, is Carl Edwards, who came to pit road earlier in that last caution. And he said the car was just so bad, he felt like he was just all over the place. In fact, he thought he might have had a tire going down. The car was extremely loose. He's trying to catch that 8 car and that 88 car. He loves the adjustments they made on that last stop, though. A little bit loose. He took a pound out of the right rear tire, hoping that's enough to propel him past that 88 and that 8 car in front of him.
Yeehaw! He gets the 88 loose. Dale Jr. gets right behind Robbie Gordon, gets a little bit loose off of 2. Might be enough for Earnhardt to make the pass.
And Carl Edwards is watching to see what happens from 3rd.
Well, and while these guys are racing, I mean, Robbie Gordon is just sideways all the way through 4, but hangs on to it.
Robbie, a wave out the window.
I think he was telling Junior, I want you to finish 2nd. So while these guys are racing side by side, that really helped Carl Edwards catch him.
Sure did. That's what Snyder was talking about. Now a 3-way battle for the lead. It's always exciting when Robbie Gordon's up front near the end of the race, isn't it? Had the great finish last Saturday at the Glen. On board with Robbie.
Still just you and them.
He's on board with Earnhardt, rather. $11 to go.
Well, he's going to try again. Now he's in a good position to get this car loose, and Robbie's already loose in 3 and 4. Tell you what, that 88's got some steam.
Right now, Earnhardt's thinking too much.
Yeah. Watch Robbie's car right here. See, just a little bit sideways off through there. Look pretty good, though. Junior's having to get out the throttle a little bit. He's going to have to get figured out here pretty quick. Sometimes it takes 4 or 5 laps to get past somebody, even if you're trying to pass them. You'll run side by side forever.
Looking low.
Now, Carl Edwards could help if Edwards would pull up behind Junior, help him in the draft. He's got a pretty good run right there.
Side by side for the lead, inside of 10 to go at Michigan. Whoa.
Yeah, Robbie a little bit loose up on the high side, but he still, oh yeah, that might have done it right there.
Isn't Junior the one that said he wanted to run the high groove here?
That's why you hired him.
And here we go. Carl Edwards down to the bottom. Might take them both. And Kurt Busch off of 4.
Caution is out. Field is frozen. Nine scoring loops around this 2-mile oval at Michigan. And NASCAR will use those scoring loops to reset the field with the caution out.
That's right front flag, Kurt. Take care of it. Straight up.
Denny Hamlin in the 20, Kurt in the 39.
He just slid up, and I'll tell you what, Denny Hamlin did a great job saving that race car.
And that's not the first time we've seen him do it. Kurt through the grass, thankfully misses the end of that pit road wall.
Kurt just slid up. You know, his car got into a big push off of 4 there and got into Hamlin.
And remember, and he'd asked for those big changes.
Yeah. He got the ballistic changes, right?
Kevin Harvick watches.
And in front of you, go high. Stay high. Keep digging, keep digging.
Inside of 10 to go will be a single file restart when we come back to Michigan with Robbie Gordon, Carl Edwards, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Mark Martin all up front. 7 laps to go here at Michigan under our 7th caution of the day. Spin by Kurt Busch coming off of turn 4. He's been on and off of pit road. Carl Edwards is scored the race leader, and here's the move. Carl in the 60.
Yeah, could take a run, got a good draft. He gets by both of these guys as Kurt Busch is spinning off of 4 right now, and the yellow comes out, and it showed Carl Edwards in the lead. Now you watch out the car, you see the car start finish line, no yellow.
Spin off of 4.
And
no
just watch to your right. Look for the light, and you'll see yellow right there.
Still outside, clear low.
So Carl was in front.
So it's Carl Edwards, Robbie Gordon, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Again, 9 scoring loops around the track, and NASCAR reverts to the previously passed loop when the caution comes out to score the leaders. Mark Martin in 4th. Casey Mears in 5th to Matt.
And Mike Beam sitting on top of the box watching your driver, Mark Martin. He said he was really loose right before the caution. Is this going to help him at all, this caution?
Matt, I don't know. You know, we made that little bit of adjustment there whenever we stopped there, and probably shouldn't have done it, you know, but we just trying some, you know, just set of tires a little bit freer, but was hoping the track would tighten up, you know, because this is Michigan, but I don't know. You know, Mark, he's going to give it all he's got. You know, everybody on his Pennzoil Ford's, you know, done a great job. Like I said, we're just a bunch of truck racers just having fun, man.
And he told Mark, after he said the car was so loose, says, hey, keep your eyes open. You never know what can happen with those 3 cars in front of you, Dave.
With Wes Ward now, crew chief on the 88 of Robbie Gordon. So, you know, Junior hasn't said, I'm going to let my car that I own win or anything, has he?
No, that's not possible. Wow, I mean, you know, the Navy Chevrolet's been awesome all day. We got loose there in that middle run and lost some track position. So just took 2 tires, tightened him up a little bit, and hey, we got Robbie Gordon, you know. I remember Watkins Glen last week, so.
He's not going to use the grass of the curb, is he?
He said the apron was good down there, so I don't know. But no, we're pretty happy here. We'll just see what happens.
Great, thanks, Wes. Marty?
Dave, what a move by Carl Edwards to get the lead, but you need green flag racing, so did this caution hurt you?
No, this caution helped us. We got this Hinkle Ford Fusion out front, and Carl's going to do the rest here in the last 5 laps.
All right, Dale Earnhardt Jr. clicked over to Robbie Gordon's radio and said, Gordon, you do what you need. That 88 car needs to get a win. That's the car owner speaking.
Thanks, guys. 5 laps to go.
Pretty much clean restart. Best restart Mark's had.
I was going to say, I want to see
5 or 6.
See how strong a 6 car is here. This may not have enough time.
Casey Mears right there, right behind Mark.
Mark thinking about trying the inside of Earnhardt.
Casey Mears is going to go up to the top. Might just get this spot because he had the draft with Earnhardt. So he's going to take that spot away from Mark. It's for 4th.
Remember, Robbie Gordon just 2 tires on the most recent pit stop. Here comes Casey. Carl Edwards has just 1 Busch Series start here. Finished 3rd. But in all 4 of his Cup races here, top 10s. Top 5 in the last 3. 7 races here for Carl. He has 7 top 10s.
Taking a look on the outside of Earnhardt. Nope, not enough.
Matt Kenseth inside of Mark Martin.
Meanwhile, Carl Edwards got a fairly comfortable lead. Got about 6 or 7 car lengths on 2nd place Robbie Gordon.
Robbie's car just doesn't look as good when it's not out front.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, the car is pretty strong with that 2-tire change. That was a very good move.
Matt Kenseth inside of Mears and maybe inside of Earnhardt. Dave on Matt Kenseth with 2 to go.
They tightened up that car, and remember, he had no chance of winning before and filled it up with fuel, guys. Caution on the track.
Caution is out. Todd Cleaver has come to rest. That's on the backstretch. And we will go green, white checkers. I think he's out of fuel.
Think so?
I wonder. NASCAR wants to find out for themselves, so they've been invited to talk to NASCAR and explain why they're parked back there. NASCAR had asked them to bring that car in, apparently a transmission issue for Todd Cleaver. So driver, crew chief, spotter for a little meeting after the race with race officials. So they'll try and push that car back to the Busch garage. And Carl Edwards will have to go through it all again. With Robbie Gordon, Earnhardt Jr., Casey Mears, Matt Kenseth, Mark Martin right behind him.
Not sure this probably didn't help Casey more than anybody, because it looked like his car was really good on the restarts. So maybe cooling his tires down a little bit.
You kill him there in 3 and 4.
Might be able to help him get a couple more spots.
I just got loose the last lap. He got loose the first lap, and I drove in thinking I could get him, and I got loose the last lap.
That's Robbie. So they continue to circle under caution here at Michigan. Now this is the previous caution.
And you can see Carl's already pretty much out front here.
And you can see the caution light is on right beneath the starter stand.
Right there.
And you see that Carl is in front of the 8 and the 88. And again, NASCAR reverts to the previous scoring loop when the caution comes out, because we don't race back to the yellow anymore. And that's when Carl Edwards got the lead, made that nice move, got around those guys, and Marty's got to go green, white, checkers.
Yeah, exactly what he didn't want to see when the caution came out. He went, oh, on the radio. That's not what they wanted to see. Clearly, they had a good lead on their way to a win. He didn't ask his spotter, you know, watch these guys on the outside of me on this restart. That's what he's concerned about, the restart. He thinks he can pull away from Robbie Gordon, but he'd like to get a little gap on him here in the first few laps. Dale Earnhardt Jr. said his car just will not turn at all. He'd love to get around the car that he owns, Dave, but he just can't get the grip to do it.
In between those two cars, Marty, is Robbie Gordon. Restarts are not his best thing, so Carl should be able to pull away at the start. As for the 8 behind him, Robbie said, tell Junior he can have one shot at me going into 1. If I hold him off there, then let me finish second, or something to that effect. Again, watch Robbie on the restart, though. He hasn't been good on them all day, and Robbie has something to say to the crew afterwards about the car regarding that, either gear, motor, or something with this 88 car.
Robbie finished 12th in 2004 in the Busch Series here. That's his only Busch Series race at Michigan. If the race reaches its scheduled conclusion under the caution flag, NASCAR will make one attempt to get a green-white checkered finish, so the fans get a green flag finish. If the caution comes out during that time, the race is over. And NASCAR will use the computer scoring around the track and video to place the cars in their proper position. What's going to happen, WD?
Well, like Carl says, he's got to get a good restart. That's going to be the key for him winning this race. And, you know, for Robbie to try to have a shot at it, he's got to have a great restart. So I'm not sure Robbie's got enough to get it done. I mean, you know, if there's an opening, he will fill it. Like I said, I think 42, based on the last restart, I saw him pass a lot of cars, so he may be able to get up in the top 3.
This track has a reputation for great finishes, doesn't it?
No, it does. It's why the race car drivers love racing on this place. It's the favorite among many of them.
Pace car to pit road. One chance for a green-white checkered finish. 2 laps to go when they get the green. Carl Edwards leads. Robbie Gordon second. Earnhardt, Mears, Kenseth, and Martin.
Tell you what, Robbie Gordon got a pretty good restart right there. Everybody else is doing a little bit of that mirror driving we talked about earlier, but Robbie got a good restart. He's right on the back. He's going to take a look, and Earnhardt's going to be up on the high side. Carl Edwards has got his mirrors full. He's a little bit loose off of 2. He's sideways.
Carl is around.
And he got turned. Oh.
Caution flag is out. The race is over.
Get fired up, get around here.
We'll have to wait and get the official scoring. We'll wait on word from NASCAR. Earnhardt in the 8. Bobby Gordon in the 88. Let's go back and take a look.
Okay, you see these guys are racing hard. Carl Edwards gets a little bit loose right there. These guys are still hard on the gas. He gets tagged a little bit by the 8 car and then turned right across from right across Robbie's nose.
Another look.
And I mean, you know, you're in a situation here, you're racing, it's the end of the race. You know, probably if that would have been lap 20, there would have been a lot different outcome. But, you know, Junior saw him get a little bit loose and he started turning, and you got to go. I mean, this is for the win.
And Robbie had said that Carl got loose on the previous restart as well. On board with Earnhardt.
Be an interesting shot. There you go. He's got a really good run right here. Now watch Carl's car get loose. Right there, he gets loose. Junior's got a good run, and you know he gets in the back of the bumper and turns him. I mean, there's no two ways about it. But a lot of things happened at once there.
NASCAR is going to hold cars 8 and 88. They're going to look at the finish, or where the race finished. Again, one attempt at green-white checkers. If the caution comes out, and here comes Carl Edwards back out on the track.
Carl runs into the 8 car.
And he waved to him. See you tomorrow, I think he said. I'm going home. Marty?
Getting some information now about this contact between Carl Edwards and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Carl came on the radio, said obviously the 8 hit me. He was requesting NASCAR black flag Dale Earnhardt Jr. That is the debate down in the Dale Earnhardt Jr. pit. They got word Carl had made that request, and now they're debating as to whether or not that should be the call. Carl obviously very upset when he came to pit road, parked right in front of the 8 pit, then went back out on the track and obviously made contact with the 8 car himself. So that's the debate going on down here on pit road amongst the 8 and 60 teams.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can put yourself in each one of these guys' position. I mean, Carl Edwards was in the lead and felt like he got turned, he got taken out. So you got an angry race car driver that's going to go out and try to settle the score right now with Junior.
This is on board with Earnhardt. NASCAR has requested the 8, the 88, and the 60 all meet for a conference after the race in the NASCAR hauler. There's Carl. I'm okay, he says.
You know.
Car 8 to victory lane. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the race winner.
It's the winner. Nice job.
Yeah, and Bristol's next week. This is Michigan.
Well, and Carl's had a few run-ins.
And he hasn't. And the thing is, it hasn't been Carl's fault. I mean, Pocono was not his fault. And this deal here, I mean, he's sitting there racing for the win. The car gets a little bit loose, and he gets turned. So, I mean, rightfully, he should be pretty ticked off.
Matt?
Well, 2 different issues here. First, Bill, Carl, let's talk about the incident between yourself and Junior.
Oh, I just was, man, I was having a good time racing. Our Henkel guys did a great job, and he just wrecked me off too. So I just want to make sure, you know, he knew that I was mad that he wrecked me, but oh well, that's racing. I don't know what else to say.
And you requested that they review the video.
Well, I'm sure, you know, NASCAR had a meeting with us the other day, Tony and I, and said they weren't going to stand for that stuff, so we'll see what happens. But I don't know. I hope Dale's, I don't know what to say. It's racing. I was just upset.
Did you get too loose off of turn 2? The video looks like you got a little loose off of 2.
We broke something. I think it was traction. So we'll see. I mean, it's just.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I ain't going to get mad. I've had enough stuff happen lately. I'm just having a good time, and I just want to make sure he knew that I was upset there. We'll see what happens.
All right, thanks.
Message delivered. 22nd NASCAR Busch Series win for Dale Earnhardt Jr. to victory lane.
And Bill, we waited down here to see who would actually be ushered into victory lane. It was Dale Earnhardt Jr. Okay, so where do we want to start? Good race car or exciting fast last lap?
Yeah, that was a little crazy. I know Carl's really mad, but we got a run off that corner, and he was sideways, and I don't know if he was going to hit the wall or whatever, but he just checked up, and we got in the back end of him, and I'm sure he's mad and thinks we wrecked him on purpose, but it was the last lap or the second to last lap. We was racing pretty hard there. If I got disqualified, 88 would have won anyway, so it would have been a good deal either way.
Yeah, you win either way, so this is not a bad day.
Not too bad. I'm real proud of Menards and Tony Sr. and all the guys give me a real good car. We weren't good when it counted there at the end. We got tight, and Carl had the best car, but don't always work out that way.
2 questions. One, is it okay for you to win having bumped someone out of the way?
Well, it probably divides. I mean, we got a great core of fans, but that definitely is going to divide them right down the middle. So.
Second question, was Carl's response to you to let you know that he was disappointed in you okay?
No, not really. I had my hand out the window after the race, and he could have took my hand off. So luckily, nothing. He didn't. But pretty stupid. But I seen him do it before, so I should have known.
All right, Dale Earnhardt Jr. winner today. Exciting end of the race, guys, and Jr. is the one who is in victory lane.
Marty Snyder.
Well, Robbie Gordon, I think I'm going to inform him he finished second today. And what was your view of that whole thing that was going on down there?
Well, I got to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed to see Junior on the outside, even though he's my team owner over here. I knew that I was next to him, and if I could have maintained next to him all the way down turn 3, it was our race to win. And just want to thank Wes and all the guys. They prepared a good car. We worked on it really hard all week long.
You got a handful there with 2 tires trying to hold Junior and all those guys behind you.
Yeah, no, it was a good call, and our car was definitely loose, but it worked well for us.
Robbie Gordon finishes second, and Bill, the fans are awfully vocal here at Michigan.
Oh, NASCAR fans are vocal everywhere. AB?
With Casey Mears, who we think finished third, maybe second. We'll find out. Tell me your view of those last laps.
It's good TV anyway. I'm watching the big screen here, and everybody's booing and yelling and everything else, but the Texaco Haviland Dodge was running really good. We were just a little bit too tight there at the end. But we're running them down there pretty good. I don't know what's going to happen, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus or say what I think's right and wrong, but it looks like Carl got spun out pretty good there, and Dale's a good friend of mine and all those guys, so I don't want to say anything against anybody, but I hope we got second because I got by the 88, went down into turn 3, and that's about the time they threw the caution. So I think I got second. We'll see what happens. A little bit of a hairy finish though.
The smile there said it all, didn't it?
Sure did. Now you see the results at the bottom of your screen. We want to remind you, race results are not official until Monday when posted by NASCAR, and they are reviewing video and scoring loops to determine the finish order here this afternoon. Here are the unofficial championship standings after 25 races, and again, this could change based on how NASCAR finalizes the finish order this afternoon in the Carfax 250, but the big story, Kevin Harvick continues to run away, and everybody else is racing for position inside the top 10.
Yeah, they're not even chasing him anymore.
And the crowd is reacting to when they put Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the big screen doing various interviews in victory lane. That's the mix of cheers and boos you hear. And we are being told that right now, unofficially, Casey Mears in the 42 car is second, unofficially. Again, you can go to NASCAR.com for updated results, and the final results will be available on Monday. Tomorrow on TNT, NASCAR Nextel Cup Series, more wild racing from Michigan. Begins at 2 Eastern time with the Bank of America Countdown to Green here on TNT. So we'll see you tomorrow with BP. Next on TNT on the East Coast, it's the Patriot. And on the West Coast, don't miss LAPD, Life on the Beat. Wild rides at Michigan. More of this fun tomorrow?
Absolutely. And more.
Yep, it'll be a packed house. The fans love it, and we'll look for another wild finish at a track that has a reputation for it. Benny Parsons, hope you enjoyed the race with everybody else. We'll see you up here tomorrow, big guy. Thanks for having us in for the race. 2 Eastern time tomorrow on TNT. See you then.